Yes, karibuni sana family. You guys are doing amazing. Good afternoon from my end. Yes, welcome to another beautiful session of the Pan-African Bliss Show. This is the Black Hot Fire Network radio station, media of the 21st century. 5 minutes past the top of the hour. Yes, and a very warm welcome to everyone listening to us, wherever you are listening to us from. This is a major throwback. I was telling you guys the other day, these are songs that we grew up listening to, especially for me. those who come from the lineage of Congo. Literally, I think most of the houses in Africa, we grew up listening to most of the Congolese music. I don't know. I'm assuming literally. Right here back in the continent. But yes, karibuni sana. This is the Pan African Bliss Show, and that is a amazing TBT, but done by the one and only Habel Kifoto Maroon Commandos. That is how they call themselves literally. And the name of the jam is Charoni Niwasi. Hope you guys are vibing onto that amazing jam. And of course, karibuni sana to yet another beautiful discussion right here on the Black Hotfire Network. Shout out to everyone with me on Facebook, not on Facebook, but on Twitter. Shout out to you. I'm so used to Facebook. But shout out to everyone with me live on Twitter and on both YouTube channels and also on the radio station, on the show page on Rumble, and those who get to catch the shows on Spotify. I'd love to say TikTok, but apparently our TikTok has been striked for 1 week. We shall not be live on TikTok for the next coming 1 week, and that is because they don't want people to talk the truth. But we are live on Instagram. So in case you are following our Instagram page, or if you find us here for the first time, karibu sana, vibe with us. And of course, welcome to today's discussion, where we shall be talking or rather sharing about the U.S. Defense Secretary, who always keeps on making amazing comments, amazing comments. And of course, they're not amazing. You know what I mean? Amazing comments. And it's crazy to see the side of which, when you talk about coons, African coons, the side we keep on choosing. And it's a debate we were having yesterday when you talk about these gay people who are now popping in the industry. Right now, you can see so many names being released. Shout out to P. Diddy. He has literally dropped down the list. I've been hearing Kid talk about it, but the names mentioned there is just super, super crazy. The list is super, super long. And it's the crazy part where you use a child to literally mention these names, the psychopathic mindset behind it. But anyway, I was talking about the U.S. Defense Secretary, who has come forward to speak about or defend Israel for not participating in any genocide in Gaza. And along with that, we shall also be seeing the former UK Home Secretary, who has also declared the same, that there's no genocide, no starvation that is happening in Hamas, rather in Gaza. And this is the same thing they have been doing in Congo. And because we don't control information, they are the ones to declare who's right, who is wrong, where is right, where is wrong. So karibuni sana, where we shall be talking about this. And of course, I'll be going back to where I believe where Africans, if from the beginning we learned to say no, we should have saved, or rather would have saved a lot of ourselves from a lot of nonsense. But because we've been majority of due to poverty, due to lack of employment, we have so many yes men outside there, and they're all of them becoming nothing but just coon and a failure of our own Black community. Karibuni sana once again. My name is Joby. In case you're on Twitter, follow us. This is the Black Hotfire Network, and I hope you get to dive into the comment section right there and leave a thought behind, because I do believe actually Twitter, rather I did see it doesn't allow people to comment on the live chats. But along our conversation today, apart from that, we shall be talking about also the UK returning Ghana's looted royalty artifacts in loan. And this is again, we saw this happening, that was last year. We discussed about it, and I always rant every time we talk about the artifacts. That is something personally I still believe and hold so dear, because understanding historically where we are coming from, it is something that we're supposed to be embracing. Shout out to Pavin in the building, and shout out to also everyone with us on these other platforms. I see so many of you are joining in via YouTube, rather it is on Twitter. Karibu sana, kindly do dive into the conversation. We shall also be talking about Nigeria, and this I'm mad about. Okay, this I'm so mad about. It is been only which other country that was affected? I don't know why is the name disappearing in my head right now. Gambia. It's been a year, I think, or two, where Gambia has been fighting so hard how they can get justice because of the children who died out of due to the toxic cough syrup that was coming from India. And I've been following up. If you guys have been very keen, I did mention some time back, it was 2 or 3 African countries that were affected. The first of it that had a bigger number was Gambia. Then we had Nigeria, who went silent about the situation, as Gambia people have literally been trying to seek justice. But right now you can see that they have come forth and they are recalling the toxic children's cough syrup that killed majority of the children. So we shall be discussing about this and why right now, because also Cameroon was one of the countries that were affected. But why is it that only Gambia, and this is when I talk about African countries uniting, tackling issues together, how important or how of importance it is. Shall also discuss about Mali, where the junta is actually warning political activities because of the tension. Remember, the country has been actually declare when they're going to hold their next elections, rather when they're setting their next elections. And this is coming from the opposition parties. And I said personally this because we know this is how they want to go back to the fake so-called democracy. Shout out to K. Williams in the building. Karibuni sana. That is our conversation for today and much more. Stick till the end of the debate and see what's popping. I'll be coming back with the quote of the day. So in case you have anything positive you'd love to share, karibu sana. Yes, Karibuni sana once again. Hope you guys are doing great. This is the Pan-African Bliss-U. You're listening to the Black Hot Fire Network radio station, media of the 21st century. A quick shout out to everyone with me on Instagram Live. Shout out to Life of Murimi. Shout out to L Miles, Karibu sana. And to everyone live with me on YouTube, on the radio station. Welcome to today's conversation. On Twitter, welcome to the Black Hot Fire Network radio station. My name is Joby. If this is your first time right here, but of course to all our amazing subscribers and back-to-back listeners, karibuni sana. My quote of today, I'm trying to find something really, really positive, but I'll just read this one. Hang on tight. It's almost Friday. That's my quote of the day. That's my quote of the day. Hang on tight. It's almost Friday. Bakaribu sana once again to everyone live with me. Shout out to K. Williams in the building. Hope you are doing amazing. Hope you really are ready for work, or you're ready at work. I don't know if you are already at work or if you are waiting for your train. But thank you so much for tuning into today's conversation, where I want us to start with some positive news. And it's been just yesterday we did discuss some of the characteristics of good leaders are what they should be having. And I did share an amazing video. I can't remember the channel where I got that video, but I did share an amazing video which was explaining some of the importance or important things that leaders, or if you really are a leader, what you should be doing. And one of them we saw, it's publicizing your assets. Let the citizens know if they can trust you. Let us see your bank accounts. Wow, how many bank accounts literally access your money, or where is your money stored, in how many bank accounts. What are the businesses you own? How much did you invest in this? Where did you get the money? How much loan have you taken from outside? And how are you willing to pay, or have you paid this? Like, we want to know, are you able to manage funds, or are we going to see the same thing that we keep on seeing? Like, a perfect example we're being given is of the previous presidents of like Nigeria, who have refused and say that they won't actually publicize their assets because that comes as a threat to them. But this is a threat of the citizens. It is a threat of the citizens. So we saw the Senegalese president laying a very good example. And I think also we had the Liberia president, for those who can remember. We were reading about the Liberia president, the current selected Kun. I'm not sure if he's a Kun or if he's really a true leader, but for me, so long as you're in this system, you're still a Kun. But he also did publicize some of the things, that he owns, not literally everything like the Senegalese president. And we've seen that this is one of the characteristics of a good leader. And this current selected or elected leader of Senegal, who is Diomaye Faye, we've been seeing recently is been asked to join, that is the Alliance Sahel state. And I've not seen personally any response, but we can see so far, like Jibajaba was asking yesterday, is he organic, or is it just another one of these other puppets? It seems like he's really doing amazing. We've been also questioning, are we going to see the rest of the African countries also join suits, like, realizing that we've been dealing with fake democracy, we've been dealing with fake organizations, we've been dealing with fake so-called friendships, who do not come here to help us not serve the good interests of our people. So news coming in today, Chad has joined Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. That is in Alliance Sahel state. This is something very amazing. I was trying to find an article of this, but I haven't. But it comes from this brother. I don't know where this guy gets this information. I need to get deeper than him, okay? Because I don't like his presentation personally. But, I'm glad that he's letting us know. And this is something positive. But is Chad fully in? Or are we going to see them being pulled back? So I'll come back with some few facts as we get to share them.
Hello, greetings, kings and queens. You are most welcome. After Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso withdrew from ECOWAS and formed their organization, the Alliance of Sahel States, an alliance that aims to strengthen cooperation and the common defense between its member states. Now Chad is on the verge of joining the Alliance of Saharan States. Chad's rapprochement with the Alliance of Sahel States has accelerated in recent weeks. A Chadian delegation visited Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali to discuss the country's membership in the alliance. The leaders of these countries all welcomed these candidates, seeing it as a strengthening of regional cooperation and a way to counter security threat in the region. Chad's membership of the Alliance of Sahara States is not yet official, but it seemed inevitable. This new geopolitical situation is reshaping the African landscape and further weakening France's position in the region. So remember that Chad is not the member of ECOWAS like other countries like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso that were the member of ECOWAS, but Chad is in the Central Africa. So by joining Chad, it means it is the growth of the alliance of Saharan states. These countries came up with the idea of a single airline, common currency to run away from CFI flank,
Mhm.
and also common market and free movement of people. That is what these countries came with these ideas. Also, they came with the idea of the joint force to fight jihadists and other.
Yeah, we know all that. We don't need too much explanation from the brother, but that is something very positive. Now, imagine if we have Senegal joining. We see Chad, we see Senegal, which they have a long way to go if they really want to join Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. And that is for them withdrawing from this fake organization. Because I'm trying to see, we understand Chad is a Central African country, and that it is actually in the fake organization which goes by the name Economic Community of Central Africa States, same as literally the Economic Community of West Africa. But I think they did suppose some question way back if Chad could join ECOWAS, but it's still in its own fake organization because that is the Central African part. But another country that is involved in ECOWAS, which we saw recently, and this makes sense why Tinubu joined, was attending the inauguration of Diomaye Faye, because Senegal is still under ECOWAS, and I don't know why they have Burkina Faso right here, because Burkina Faso did withdraw a long time ago. I see, countries involved in ECOWAS. We have Benin, Burkina Faso, I think they meant, I don't know, Cabo Verde. There's a country called Cabo Verde or Cape Verde. Okay, we have Cote d'Ivoire, we have Gambia, we have Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, and then mind you, Ghana had a so-called coup, which is a fake one, and we can't trust them. We also have Liberia, we have Mali, we have Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and Togo, who have recently changed their constitution and postponed their election, which is not going to help the people. But that is what is happening, and that is something amazing coming from Senegal to report this. Not Senegal, but Chad coming this amazing morning. But we're gonna be following up on to see how are they willing to let go and drop and withdraw from the Western powers, the deals that they have made, because there's so much to attire yourself from, which is what we can see Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso have been trying to do. And they have not been responding to any questions posed to them. So we hope they're going to follow suit. And of course, they have the three juntas to guide them in everything they need, because that is what Africa needs, working together. And the next news is coming from Ghana and Kenya, which we did report last week. We saw that Kenya and Ghana are literally working together, and that is after we witnessed Nana Akufo-Addo and President William Ruto from Kenya meeting up and discussing matters of trade, tourism, technology, development, and so much more. So today, news coming in is that they have already signed this bilateral deal, and they say that Kenya and Ghana on opposite side of the continent say that they want to revive trade between them, and they want to see their vast deposit of gemstones and prized agricultural products as key to boosting their commercial partnership. On a state visit to Accra last week, Kenyan President William Ruto on his host Nana Akufo-Addo witnessed the signing of several bilateral agreements and memorandums of understanding. On the agreement was between one of the agreements was between the Ghana Investment Promotion Center and the Kenya Investment Authority. Others were between the Associates of Ghana Industries and the Kenyan Associates of Manufacturers, and a kind of peer-to-peer relationship. There are not many similarities, but there are ones that do exist, and could help boost trade. And they are among African's most stable economies. Oh God, come on. Although Kenya, like Ghana, has struggled with foreign debt, which Kenya is also struggling, both countries are. And they are also among the 8 countries that on the continent initially selected the to test a trade deal under the Africa Continental Free Trade area. The results of these experiments, which began in September 2022, should inform the same Africa Continental Free Trade on whether trade between African countries in different parts of the continent is viable at all. Well, it is not too late to think about this, but at the same time, I mean, Who is between this? Where the funds coming from? That is where we need to start again. Who's going to be funding us to help project, deal with or fulfill all these projects? Again, like Keith has taught us, we should go back and trace the funds of who is doing this, because we can see the countries are already among the top 8 countries in the continent that are highly in debt. So where are they getting the money to do all these projects? That is the question. You're already highly in debt because Kenya is not doing great. That is a lie. Where they say, unlike Kenya, no, it's not doing amazing. It's not doing great at all. So where are these 2 countries getting the funds from? So once we trace that and we understand who is really funding us and who is between all these deals being made between the 2 countries, then we're good to go. And we know it is not for the benefit of neither Ghanaians, neither Kenyans. This is benefit for the white man. What are we trading and, what are we working together on? Why is it that we're realizing right now that we need to do this? Why not long time ago? It doesn't make any sense. It is crazy. And we saw him also working with the Central Africa Republic president under the same matters. I'm waiting to see. We saw Ruto saying that the Central Africa Republic is a country that is doing drastically amazing in terms of economy, development, process, But we checked. The situation is crazy. People are not happy there. People are not at peace. People are literally demanding and asking for help. But of course, I'll be right here to keep you guys on the know of what is going on. But to the next debate, and the next conversation is still from the 254, where yesterday we witnessed, despite the ongoing demonstration of our Kenyan doctors, we had 100 doctors who actually replaced those who are there demanding and demonstrating for their rights, which is super crazy. But today we can see that there has been a state order that has been made, and they're saying that doctors have been ordered to resume to work within 24 hours or face consequences. And they're saying striking doctors have 24 hours to call off the strike or face disciplinary action. Head of Public Service Felix Koskei has asked them to return to the negotiation table in compliance with a court order. A confidential letter sent by the nation that was on April 9th to the Secretary General of Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union. He has instructed doctors to call off the strike before the whole of nation approach committee convenes. And he says, take a note that the committee shall convene within 24 hours and the suspension of the strike, ensuring full compliance with the order of the principal, that is Judge Brian. But it is crazy because, this is just so crazy. And this is so unfair of a country. This is a norm in every African country, especially Kenya and Nigeria. It is a norm where we see our people, public servants, always demanding to be increased, for their wages to be increased. Because I'll still repeat personally, and maybe you can correct me if you know better, but I feel like being a doctor is the most workiest, shittiest job you can ever do, because you have to have patience within yourself and you need to deal with patients. You have to handle so many things. You have a life to deal with. You can imagine. If it's a passion you love, shout out to my cousins, then good for you. But I can imagine, you being in that situation and understanding that you are human as well. You do require, actually, like I said, personally, do believe they do require health insurance. They do require to be paid very well, because they do take care of people, and a lot more to be checked in when it comes to them. This is so poor of Africa again, leadership, governance. And this because when I go back where we said, when you talked about, it was still Liberia uncovering 40,000 civil servants who are there illegally. These are the kind of things we're talking about, because the people on the top who know that this is wrong, you can change this, you can make this work, don't want to. People on the top who have been selected or nominated to be in those positions don't want to do what is right. It is so crazy, so sad, because yesterday, I don't know, out of the 100 replaced, if those, probably they lost their job, and it is such a crazy time right now for you to lose your job. It is a crazy time right now because the landlord doesn't know that, number one. You know, they're gonna be fair with you maybe for the first month, the second month. The third month, they're tired. Electricity is cut out, water is cut out. You're left in the dark now, and the next minute you're chased out. You can barely even feed yourself because food, commodities are also, prices are hiking up. So it is crazy, man. This is just where we talk and focus about revolution. I don't see any other way to change this. I don't want to hope, okay? The hope right here is just revolution, nothing else. You don't need anything else to make a change. Just revolution in young people, young mindsets like Ibrahim Traoré, Tiani, and the Niger junta kind of mindset. And now we have the Fire. You need and require such kind of a mindset for you to be able to understand who and type of psychopathic mindset you're dealing with. But to the next conversation is about Mali, who recently the opposition parties went ahead and said that the country should set a date on when the next elections are going to happen. And they're saying that currently right now, of course, the Mali junta never responded after that, but he has come out and spoken about, they're saying that the ruling party junta in Mali has suspended all political activities in the country until further notice. A spokesman, Colonel Abdoulaye Maiga, said that suspension was motivated by what he called sterile discussions during an attempt at national dialogue earlier this year. He said all activities by political parties and associations of political nature have been suspended by the grounds of maintaining public order in a statement on a state television that was passed Wednesday, that was yesterday in the evening. And more than 80 political parties. I said, actually, I was shocked by 80. It is a lot, a whole lot, in a population of just 25 million. It's a whole lot. More than 80 political parties and civil groups recently called for presidential elections as soon as possible and an end to military rule. Mali has been ruled by the military since 2022 following a coup, and the junta said presidential elections will be held in February, but they were postponed, sparking outrage among political groups. Well, I believe he's doing what is best for the country, and I believe he knows the dangers of setting an election right now. And such is what we can see right now, where people are demanding not for the same leadership, but to go back to the fake democracy. And I believe if he asks for that, and if he lets go, or if they try, and in any means we see the West getting involved or France getting involved in this coming elections that is supposed to be set or being demanded, that is how we're gonna lose Mali as our all alliance Sahel state. Literally. If this happens, which you can see so far, they're trying to create a very strong force. Shout out to Chad, shout out to Senegal. I hope Senegal has really joined. It's not yet official, but until I see it outside there, then I'm gonna know it's really done. 5 countries working together. That is the power they're scared of. So if this happens, if Mali attempts to set an election date, and if this goes through, I feel like we're gonna lose Mali. That is just the truth of the matter. Because mind you, France is still wants to be back so bad. They want to bring back their fake organization like the UN, the EU, the AU, and then we see other Western fake politicians being involved. It is crazy, and it is such a sad situation. It is a sad situation for the Malians, because you're about to be taken way back from where you're trying to escape if this happens. Because the political parties who are literally demanding this, they're either being paid to push the button. That is how simple it is. So the next debate is about Nigeria, which I said I'm really mad about, but I'm very calm. So I'm not really that mad, but I was like still not in the, I was still not believing what I've seen today, waking up to this. So it was in 2022, actually 2021, where we saw, it was in 2022, where we saw Gambia, Cameroon, and Nigeria. Children affected, dozens of children were affected by a cough syrup that came from India. Gambia was the only country and has been the only country I've been reporting about how they have been following up on justice being served to the victims of those who lost their children through this cough syrup. In Gambia, we recorded 78 children died because of this cough syrup. That is a big number. Even one is a big number. Cameroon, I can't remember the number. In Nigeria, I think it was 3 or 4, but it was some number, which I don't know if it is indicated on this article, but I can't see any. But we shall be reading and taking you through on what is happening. So the question is, and I did question this some time back last year, why is it that it's only Gambia pushing for this? I mean, you want to tell me Nigerians are really this ignorant, or they're not feeling the pinch of losing their kids? Maybe. I always question the love of a mother to a child. I think until you have one, that's when you're going to experience it, but I don't get it. But anyway, Nigeria's drug regulator has recalled a batch of Johnson & Johnson's children's cough syrup after tests showed it contained an acceptable high level of a toxic and potentially fatal substance. The substance, which is diethylene glycol, was found to cause acute oral toxicity in the laboratory animals, and this is information given by the Nigeria National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control yesterday. It added that you remember there's a time I was really doing research about all this. No, it's not this one, but anyway, it added that human consumptions of the diethylene glycol results in toxic effects include abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, inability to pass urine, headache, altered mental state, and acute kidney injury, which may lead to death. The substance has been linked to the recent deaths of dozen children in Cameroon and the Gambia country. The laboratory test on the recalled benylene pediatric syrup also showed that it caused acute oral toxicity in laboratory animals, and neither Johnson & Johnson's nor Kenvue, which owns the benylene brand, after becoming independent from Johnson & Johnson last year, have commented on the NAFDAC's statements. The syrup was manufactured in South Africa, which is a lie, in May 2021 and had expiry dates on April 2024. The syrup's packaging says it can be used for relieving cough and congestive symptoms, and for treating fever and other allergic conditions among children aged between 2 and 12. Well, it is not, and I remember when I reported this was not coming from South Africa. No, this is a lie. This cough syrup came from Gambia. No, from India, sorry. Because they're saying the substance has been linked to the deaths of dozens of children in Cameroon and Gambia. I'm not far from the internet, so let me pull up. How many children died from the cough syrup in Gambia? Oh. You had that? I didn't even finish making the statement, but it started with India made cough syrups contained. So these are, let me read the article. So this is how you know these people are liars, and because they control information, they think we don't follow up shit, so people won't connect the dots. Let's lie and blame this on the Africans themselves, not the Indians. The Africans themselves, they did this to themselves, because that is what tribalism is all about. No, this time it's not. It is you. So we had India cough syrup, which contained toxic, and it's linked to 141 children's death. This was an article released on 6th of October last year. And it says an India drug regulator, Central Drug Standard Control Organization, has found a cough syrup and an anti-allergy syrup made by Norris Medicines Limited are toxic. As per the government report, this comes months after India made a cough syrup that was linked to 141 children's death worldwide. Oh, I feel like that is actually a less number, because this drug was already distributed to pharmacists, to so many local hospitals. So I kind of doubt if it is 141. They always want to protect them and the number. The medicines were contaminated either with diethylene glycol or ethylene glycol. These are the same contaminants found in the cough syrup that caused the death in Gambia, Uzbekistan. I remember Uzbekistan because I don't remember Cameroon. Me reporting Cameroon. I remember me reporting Gambia, Uzbekistan, and Nigeria. And then I was like, why did the Nigerian and the Uzbekistan keep quiet? But what happened with the Uzbekistan, I think they were compensated and they took the money. Gambians refused, if I can remember. Gambians did refuse this. But they're saying that this is the first time, at least 2 years, of the Central Drug Stated Standard Control Organization has flagged any DIG or age contaminant, that is the diethylene and ethylene, if I'm not wrong, contaminated in monthly reports of the country tries to crack down on its 42 billion drug industry dominated by small players. So it is crazy, and we just need justice. And shout out to Nigerians, because I don't understand how slow you are. I'm just so sorry. I don't understand how slow you are. You need to pick up with the rest of the world. Catch up. Okay? Catch up. You need to catch up. You need to stop doing Binance, whatever you do. You need to stop trading fast. Reality is right here. It's crazy. This is crazy. I'm just shocked that they had to talk about this after 2 years. And then now lies are coming of where the drug was manufactured, because the people themselves are so ignorant and don't want to follow up, which is so sad to see, because I never expected that. I never really expected that, especially when you talk about a parent. You don't expect that. But to the next conversation, before I get to the main conversation, is about Ghana. Shout out to Nana Akufo-Addo. The country is so much in debt to the point where they can't even get loans. They have to be loaned back their artifacts, So the UK has returned royal artifacts in loan deal, and that is the 32 royal artifacts looted from Ghana's Asante Kingdom in the 19th century. The royal objects were taken from place of Kumasi during the Angol Asante Wars, including the infamous Sergeants' War in 1874. They were returned on Tuesday by the British Museum and the Victoria and Albert Museum. And mind you, these three museums have signed a deal to never, ever allow African countries to get what is originally theirs. 150-year-old, mostly golden royal regalia will be on a loan for an initial 3 years and renewable for another 3 years. The loan deal is not with the Ghanaian government, but with Omtufu Osei Tututu, the current traditional ruler of the Ashanti people. And And the legal restrictions in the UK have made it possible to return the artifacts permanently. You heard, I'd said that earlier. And the return of the artifacts coincides with the Silver Jubilee anniversary of the Asantehene, or say 222, who first started the negotiation in May last year. They say gold and silver regalia associated with the Asante Royal Court and will be displayed at the Palace Museum as part of a long-term loan commitment by the Victoria and Albert and British Museum. Omfuo Osei Tutu will receive the objects in special designed vessels in Kumasi, after which the Mahenia Palace Museum will be closed for 3 weeks for installation works to encasing. It is amazing. It is crazy to see where Africa we've gotten, and we can no longer get what is really ours, because historically we have failed leaders who have not dared and made it serious to follow up the art and crafts that were stolen back in the continent. I really love discussing about this because personally I love the spiritual connection to it. There's a time I was deep and I did discuss about especially not the Benin bronze, but I think there's something from Cameroon, I can't remember, which is connected spiritually and used to be used. It has a ponytail hair like of a black woman, I don't know, something like that. But if you check previous shows I've done about artifacts stolen from Africa, I've gone deep because the people who stole this don't know the meaning behind them. I've discussed where Africans, they didn't just sit down, and started making art and crafts for no reason. They had a message behind. Majority of the times it's because it had a message behind, traditionally, for a purpose. It was not just pick and run, But that is what is happening in Ghana. Shout out to Nana Akufo-Addo again. He has made us proud. Should we say that? He has made us proud. And Ruto, as they collaborate together. It is insane. But the major conversation of the day is about the U.S. Defense Secretary. I've shared this guy's couple of his video right here, always calling, shout out to the money, the dollar, So I'll start with this one where we have the former UK Home Secretary who has come forth to defend Israel for not committing any genocide. And this is in defense. When I see this, I feel like they are still defending the situation that they're also doing in Congo, in South Sudan, what they're trying to do right now between Ethiopia and Somalia. If you've been following up the stories, Demora has been talking about it. It's been crazy. What they want to do, literally, what they're doing in Haiti, So that is what literally, if you defend them because of what they're doing here, you're defending them on everything they've been doing in the continent of Africa. Or to the rest of the world, literally. You're defending them on everything they've been doing to the rest of the world. Cut to the small hats because they control everything.
There are academics and statisticians who have debunked that figure in open source reports, distorted and inflated those figures are. I've probed and I've tested. I've been very near to the border with Gaza, and I am convinced, and I say this as a former Attorney General who dealt with matters of international law and military action, that I very strongly rebut suggestions that Israel's in breach of international law, that there's a genocide, that there's a forced starvation.
Yeah, so that is what is happening. Excuse me. So we are saying that despite the appalling death toll and suffering in Gaza. Former UK Home Secretary Suella Braverman said, like what she said, and many, including ourselves, are stunned and disagreed. Despite 6 months of indiscrimination and bombing, indiscriminated bombing, she also questions the staggering Palestinian body count published by the Gaza Health Authority. It is crazy. This is the type of the psychopathic mindset we're dealing with. It is crazy. It is crazy, man. It is this shit is really crazy. It is crazy when every agenda is literally falling into place how they want. That is the craziest part, you know. That is just the most craziest part. When every agenda is just falling into place the way they want. And then everything favoring their narrative, because the world, majority of the world doesn't know who controls the media. Who controls the platforms. We're just discussing off air right now about TikTok and what they're doing, you know, like, why are they striking us? What do they do? But because we don't control nor own, that is why they have the reason to. They feel like they can flag you anytime. You know, they can literally just suspend you for a whole week, and that is all fine. It is not okay. This is something that needs to be debated about. It needs to be discussed. The rest of the world should join and discuss about what Israel has been doing to the world. How the U.S. is literally part of this funding, taking from people, and then funding wars. It needs to be stopped and needs to be debated on. So this is the U.S. Defense Secretary.
I want to address what the protesters raised earlier. Is Israel committing genocide in Gaza?
Senator Cotton, we don't have any evidence of genocide being created.
So that's a no. Israel's not committing genocide in Gaza.
We don't have evidence of that, to
Thank
my
you.
knowledge. Yeah.
Better than Director Burns and Director Haynes did last month at the Intelligence Committee when they dodged that question. You stand accused by those protesters of greenlighting genocide. Would you like to respond to that accusation?
What I would say, Senator Cotton, from the very beginning is that we committed to help assist Israel in defending its territory and its people by providing security assistance.
First and foremost, this is none of the Middle Fake East territory. This was Africa territory, Africans territory, okay? This was none of the fake so-called Middle East, again, territory. So what do you mean by saying that, you know, we're protecting these people's territory? What territory? Let's start from the beginning, where these people are invaders who came mad Africans and literally took over the place and called themselves the Jews. Oh, I'm an anti-Semitic, right? So that is what is happening. This is just so crazy. This is becoming a norm, and the world should normalize this. And we have people supporting this kind of motion, being honest. The people are being carried away by, for real, Israel is so innocent. Israel is not doing anything. I don't know if it's because of the religion psychosis in it or what is it. But it needs to be debated on, because these people are very active in Africa. And this is why we see Kagame and Museveni highly involved in this. But because they're protected by the same people who fund this, this is why it's not considered as a genocide. It's nobody. These people are doing this for by themselves. You know, they're just killing each other. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. It is sad personally for me when I see African representatives or leaders who are supposed to be out here defending names are the number one bootlickers in everything. It is such a sad state, being honest. And this is why the rest of the world literally laughs, because such an example is a big failure and shows why and who we're dealing with in terms of leadership as African people. It is such a sad state. I don't know anyone else who views it like that, but having such a whole nigger, and pardon my French, a whole African, bold African man showing up and talking nonsense like this? Well, you know the people back in your continent, if you know history, are suffering because of the same people you're defending. I was to debate about this yesterday on the Africa Today show, but it's going viral. I was like, nah, I want to talk about it. Because this is what we have in Africa too. This is so brutal. I don't want to be involved in anything to do with DRC Congo. No, I don't know anything that is happening. As a matter of fact, we need funds for evangelism. That is brutal. You know, this is what we're dealing with every single day in terms of leadership, because the people have been placed there. They're not actually there to talk words coming from their mind. They're being told to say what it's supposed to be said. And if you don't, it's a bubble gum on your head, a very heavy bubble gum, and you'll be found in River Yala somewhere. It is so crazy. So the call is upon African people. Again, like I said, we are the numbers. We have the numbers. We need to unite. The moment you're going to understand that we have people who do not present us, that politics is our daily lives, that we are literally in this position, and we've been historically, generationally, if there's such a term, generationally, don't mind me, you know. Shout out to my diction. It has so many new words. But this has been going on because we failed to unite. We failed to understand what really happens. We think this is just how life is, you know, in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus, this is just how life is supposed to be. You wake up, you're in poverty. Either you repeat the same psychosis of poverty, or you're going to break it. It is such a sad state. Anyway, I'm wrapping it up here. I don't want to take much time today. I want the shows to run on time, but I want to appreciate everyone who has been with me on today's conversation. See you guys later on the Black Kings frequency, but remember to join Iwaton. She's coming back with Let's Pop, and see what she's going to be popping today. But much love. Shout out to K. Williams who has been with me. Shout out to Mad Victim. Shout out to Kwom. Shout out to him. Hey, I can't pronounce her names, but shout out to everyone who has been with me also on the radio station, on the show page, and for those who shall catch this on a replay. I hope you get to enjoy, and let me know what are your thoughts regarding all those debates we've discussed about Mali. The junta says, saying that all the political tensions should be banned, the political activities, should be banned because of the tension rising in the country. Nigeria finally recalling that they had children who died because of a cough syrup, that their line is now, or was now, manufactured in South Africa while it was manufactured in India. And it affected 4 African countries, literally. No, 3. We have Cameroon, we have Nigeria, and Gambia. Uzbekistan is Namibia, if I'm not wrong, or Zambia. Uzbekistan. I think we had a brother, shout out to Paul Raj. I don't know if he still listens. A brother from, I think, Namibia. I'm not sure which country, but I think I had him on one of his songs. He used to mention Uzbekistan. But anyway, yeah. Let me know what are your thoughts regarding that. We've also debated about Kenya and Ghana. That is them attempting to smoothen their trade in Africa, or rather their trade between the two countries. We've also debated about the situation of doctors striking in Kenya, and last but not least, also about our very own Chad joining Sahel state, and the major conversation that we just had. Have an amazing rest part of your day. See you guys when you see me. I'll be wrapping it up with this amazing jam. This is by the one and only Giuliani, and the name of the jam is Bahashaya Ocampo. See you guys later on the Black Kings.
You're tuning into the Bliss-U.S Radio.